I get asked a lot of questions on social media about the gear that I travel with. What bag am I using? What equipment? What do I take on the road with me? And as someone that travels between 25 and 30 weekends a year, I have, my packing down to an absolute science. And there are definitely a lot of items that I absolutely need and cannot live without when I'm on the road. So I figured while I was packing up today, I'd make a quick video to show you some of those absolutely essential items, but the kicker is none of them are camera equipment. So let's get into it. So my first essential item is something very simple, just a power bank. A lot of people already have these. These are an incredible tool for just charging your phone, charging your devices when there's no power ports available. We've all seen people at the airport clamoring to try and find a place to plug their phone in. If you have one of these and you keep it charged, you can just charge your device while it's in your pocket. It's great for when I'm at the racetrack or if I'm doing live streams. Also, I can't count the number of times that I've got on an airplane and that little USB port in the IFE screen doesn't work. Well, I can just use this and I can keep my phone charged while I'm watching, videos on my phone or my iPad, whatever it is. I actually carry two of these, and these ones are pretty cool because they have this little paw thing that lights up to show you how much power is left, which is just fun, And then they also, I think if you double tap it, yeah, it's a flashlight. So that's kind of cool, something a little different. One last thing I should say about power banks is you're not allowed to have these in your checked luggage if you're flying. They're becoming very militant about that. They'll ask you at check-in now, do you have any power banks? So make sure it just goes with you in your hand luggage on the plane. Next up is a super simple item that absolutely changed my life, and it is just honestly a collapsible laptop riser. I absolutely love this thing. I saw a photo someone took of me in the media center a few months ago without the riser, and I was leaned over my laptop like this, and I was like, man, no wonder my neck hurts all the time. Since getting the riser and helping me lift my laptop up towards, my eye height, I can keep better posture when I'm working. I pair it with a, Bluetooth mouse and a Bluetooth keyboard, and I have a wonderful, working desktop setup that's much more ergonomic for when I'm on the road. So this thing has absolutely changed my life, and I think it was like 12 bucks. I should also mention that all the items in this video are linked in the description below, and yes, they are Amazon affiliate links, so I do get a very small commission if you purchase through that link. I'll be very transparent about that, but it's just a really easy way to support creators you like. Next up is my iPad. Now this is just a basic iPad. I can't even remember which one it is, but I use this for a myriad of different things when I'm on the road. My buddy jokingly says that it's just like a TV that I bring with me, and that's essentially what it is. I'll watch movies on it at the hotel. I watch stuff on it on the airplane. I can't remember the last time I actually watched a video on the plane's IFE screen. I'll usually just download stuff I want to watch on my iPad. I got YouTube Premium, so I can download my favorite creators and watch them on the go. And then I'll also use this in Sidecar with my MacBook, so I have a separate display for when I'm editing on the road. And when I'm in Premiere Pro, I love using that for my media bin, so I can quickly just look down, scrub through clips, and pick out the selects that I want for what I'm editing. So this is an absolutely essential piece of equipment. I don't know how I lived without this. So next up is a super simple one, but it gets overlooked a lot. There's a reason that they sell these in airports so much, and it is an adapter for plugs. A lot of people don't think of this when they travel internationally. So you can buy adapters like this. This one is like an American or a Canadian style outlet that goes to UK or Middle East. They use these three prongs that look like this. These ones are cool because they have, a regular outlet as well as two USB ports and then another non-grounded outlet in the top. So you can almost get away with just this one outlet if you only need to plug a couple of things in. But recently I picked up one that I really like, and it's universal. So this one has most of the different plugs in it. So as you can see, they just are retractable. So you pop them out, you've got EU, pull that back, you've got the UK and Middle East, and then you've also got the United States. And then you think, well, what about Australia? Well, you just turn the prongs and you've got the angled version for Australia, and I believe China as well. It also has 4 USB ports on it. I absolutely love this thing. This is the one I keep in my backpack. So there'll be times when I'm going to Malaysia where I have a layover in Europe. If I go to a lounge for a few hours, I'm like, oh man, I didn't bring a European one. Well, this has the European one in it, and I can use it at the lounge. And then when I get to Asia or wherever I'm going, I can use the plug that they use there. So I'll usually have this one in my backpack, but then I do also keep one of these sort of tiny, simple ones just in my checked bag, so I can keep it at the hotel and have my phone cord plugged into it or whatever. The next one is for all my influencers out there, but it is very important, and that is simply a tiny tripod, like this one, and a little phone holder. This one is from Yolanzi, I believe. I actually bought this one when I was in Dubai because I forgot my other phone holder. So I went to like a little camera shop in Dubai and picked this up. And it's extendable. You can use it for vertical or horizontal. It has a screw in the bottom so you can attach it to the top of a tripod, and then you can do live streams and all that kind of stuff, create behind the scenes content. And I also have the little tripod. Now this one was like, I think this was like $6 or $7, and it's like fully malleable. You can shape it in whatever shape you want, whatever size. I've actually wrapped this around like railings before and shot videos, and yeah, it works really well. And I use this for when I'm shooting like behind the scenes content. If I want to get a time lapse of my editing or something like that, I'll just set this up at the edge of the table and record myself. So it's become a very essential piece of equipment. I'll even use it at the hotel if I want to FaceTime someone. I can just put my phone in it, so it's just, I don't have to look, you know, down like this. I can look up. So yeah, it's just become a really important piece of equipment. And yeah, you can make fun of me always being an influencer, but it's important. I feel like I'm featuring a lot of Apple products here, but I'm in the Apple, like, you know, ecosystem. So next up is my AirPods Pro. Now, the reason I absolutely love these, they're in this little case, and we're not gonna look inside, because what the inside of your AirPods case looks like is between you and God. I use these for everything. I'll even sometimes use them for video editing. I watch videos on my phone on the plane. Having the noise canceling is an absolute like game changer. And then, you know, when the flight attendant comes and says, "What do you want for dinner?" I don't have to take them out. I can just hold and turn the noise canceling off so I can hear them. I absolutely love my AirPods. I use them for when I exercise, when I go running. In a pinch at the racetrack, I've even used them as earplugs if I've forgotten my earplugs. So I absolutely love these. They're just another thing that just absolutely changed my life when I got them. And come on, we all thought these were super silly when they came out. And now like everyone has them. Yeah, they're amazing. We're gonna take a blast to the past now, but the next one is actually just a notebook. And it sounds kind of silly because we live in the digital age, but I absolutely love taking notes by hand. So I'll actually write out my shot lists by hand. Sometimes I'll do camera directions by hand. I'll just jot ideas for content down. I absolutely love just writing things by hand because I feel that when I do, I just retain the information a lot more. And a lot of them it is nonsensical, like only I'm gonna be able to understand that, and like circling it. But yeah, it just helps me remember. It's just a classic old trick. When I was in school, like I found handwriting notes was way easier for me to retain the information than to just type them out. So that's why I tend to always have a notebook with me. I'll even use it for when I'm practicing languages. I'm learning French right now. It really helps, again, with the retention to write it down. So something very simple like a notebook, I always have in my bag with me when I'm on the road. Continuing with the Apple Store theme, the final Apple item is the AirTag. Now, these have become super popular over the last few years. They've been made really popular by a few YouTubers that mailed them to different countries, but it's essentially a very small GPS tracker that's now available to consumers that you can put in your luggage, put in your backpack, so you always know where it is. People put them in dog collars so they always know where their dog is, and things like that. They're just an incredible piece of technology, and I have one in every piece of luggage, my camera bag, my backpack, even my gimbal case, and my check bag. I'll have one of these. And there are, you know, some airline groups and whatnot that have been trying to get these banned. I would look into, you know, the rules wherever you're going to make sure you're allowed to have this in your bag, but I've had these in my bag everywhere that I've gone, and I haven't had any problems. And there are quite a few doubters of these that say, well, what does it matter if you have it in your bag? Like, how is that gonna help you? Well, Air France lost my luggage last year, and I'm fairly certain that the only reason that I got it back in the timely manner that I did was because I had this in there and I was able to tell them where it was after they told me they could not locate it. And I said, no, it's at the Marseille airport in the back room. If you're not with Apple, if you're on Android, you can get the Tile. It's a very similar item. And yeah, these are just really great pieces of technology that just give you some peace of mind in knowing where your stuff is. So I highly recommend picking these up. Another essential item that I'll always have with me, like regardless where I'm going, except for when I was in Bahrain a few weeks ago and I didn't bring any wet weather gear because it's Bahrain, it never rains in Bahrain, and then it did. Well, from now on, I'm always gonna bring wet weather gear. Now this is actually a brand new raincoat that I got at Decathlon. It's rated 5 stars for weather resistance, so we'll test that out when I'm in Malaysia in a couple of weeks where it rains pretty much every day. So I'll have this. I also have rain pants that I'll always bring with me. In fact, I got some new ones also from Decathlon. Decathlon's a chain store in Europe and now in Canada as well, where they sell basically like their own brands of like fitness equipment. It's actually a really cool store. You can spend a lot of time in there. And I do a lot of Decathlon tourism. Every time I see one in another country, I'm like, we have to stop. We have to go to Decathlon. And then you end up buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. But yeah, Decathlon's great, and that's where I got this. So along with wet weather clothing is wet weather footwear. Now, a lot of people don't wear waterproof footwear, and then they're complaining all weekend at the racetrack that their feet are wet. Well, I have a myriad of different waterproof footwear, the first being these. I wear a lot of on-running shoes because I work in racing, and it seems like everyone that works in racing wears ons. I have some of the slip-ons. These are some of the hiking shoes, and then depending on the terrain, if I'm going a really rocky place, I even have a pair of the boots, and these are waterproof. I'm telling you, like, I have worn these in downpours and my feet are still dry. Although I will, just to be safe, always bring an extra pair of socks, because once your socks are wet early in the day, it's over. Once your socks are wet, you're done for. So make sure you also bring an extra pair of socks, just to be safe. The final thing that I absolutely always need when I'm on the road is a set of workout clothes and a pair of shoes to run in. Now, I'm very serious about my physical fitness. I used to be very overweight, and over the last 16, 17 years, I've lost a lot of that weight and gotten very serious about fitness, whether it's lifting weights at the gym or now going for running, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. So I'll always bring a pair of running shoes, like these are my On Cloud Monsters. I have a lot of pairs of running shoes because I'm obsessed with buying shoes. I have way too many pairs, but I always throw a pair in my bag and try and get out for this year. My goal was minimum 2 runs per event, and I hit that most of the time, whether it's running on the racetrack during the track walk, which I did quite a few times this year. If you want to see racetrack maps, you can check out my Strava. It's all on there. And then sometimes I'll just go running sort of in town where we are. And if the hotel has a gym, I'll always try and hit up that hotel gym for a half hour, 40 minutes in the morning, because I just think physical fitness is super important. It helps me do my job and I don't get as fatigued during the day. So those workout clothes and shoes are just a really important thing for me, and I have to bring them on all my trips. Those are all the essential items I absolutely need when I am traveling to a race meeting. Let me know in the comments what you absolutely need when you're traveling. And if you think I missed anything or you have any recommendations, also let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for new kit to take on the road with me. I do not travel light. I tried to link everything in the description below, so if you want to pick up any of these items, you should be able to follow the links there and find them. I know we listed off a lot of Apple products, but this video was not sponsored by Apple. I'm just in an abusive relationship with Apple right now. But thanks again so much for watching. If you want to keep up with all of my traveling to go to races, you can follow me on my social media accounts, which are all linked in the description below. I'm very active on Instagram and on TikTok. And if you have any other ideas for videos or other behind the scenes stuff that you'd like to know about from the life of a motorsport videographer, again, just leave them in the comments below. And finally, as always, likes, shares, subscribes, those are super helpful. They go a long way to help me to make more of these videos. So thank you for that, and we'll see you in the next video.